Hello and welcome back to Board Game Acrobat, where today I'm going to be showing you how to play Boss Monster. So let's get in. So, rulebook. What you're going to want to do is room deck, give that a quick shuffle and put it in the middle where everyone can reach it. Then take the spell deck, again, give that a shuffle and pop that next to the room deck, like so. Next, so what I'll do is I'll set this up for a 2-player game, but if it's a 3 or 4-player game, it's exactly the same. 2-player games sit opposite each other, 3-player game around or in a square for a 4-player game, so on. So, how you choose your boss is, again, give them a shuffle and randomly assign each player one boss. And then the rest of the boss cards can go back in the box. So I am the Dracula Lord, and my opponent, I'm not even going to pretend I can say that name. Okay, then we take a look at the heroes. Now there are 2 types of heroes. There are epic heroes and there are normal heroes. So, because this is a 2-player game, as you can see on the bottom of these heroes, it has 2 there. On later ones, there are 3. So how it works is, for a 2-player game, you take out all of the ones with just 2. For a 3-player game, you take out all the ones that are 3 and below. And then for a 4-player game, you take out all of the ones with a 2, 3 or 4 on them. So you take all of the normal heroes, give them a shuffle and put them to the opposite side of the room in the spell deck. Then you take the epic heroes, which have a gold border on the other side as well. Get out all of those 2s, it's the same principle, so 2-player game, just the 2s, 3, 2 and 3 for all of them basically. And then the rest of the heroes can go back into the box, they are not needed for this game. Give the epic heroes a shuffle, put them to the left of the normal heroes. So some of the heroes are gonna come into the town now, and the way you know how many heroes come into town is depending on how many people are playing. So if there are 2 people playing, like I've set up here, 2 of the normal heroes will come into town. If like so, if there are 3 people, 3 heroes, 4 people, 4 heroes, etc. So that is that. And then you go into your build phase. Give both players 5 rune cards. 4, 5. Or all players, and 2 spell cards from the spell card deck. Okay. So then you have your monster and your hand. And your hand is a mixture of spell cards, which look like this, and rune cards, which look like this, and advanced rune cards, which will tell you if they are at the top there. So I'll go over the spells first. So the spells obviously all do different things, but there's also different times when you can use them. And how you see this is in this bottom corner here, there is a hammer and an axe. If they have both the hammer and the axe, you can use them during the build phase or during the dungeon phase. If they just have a hammer, which is the one on the left, you can only use it during the build phase, and if it just has an axe, which again is the one on the right, you can only use it during the dungeon phase. And that is how the spell cards work. So how the rooms work is you'll take your boss, and you'll see every boss has a different XP. And the boss with the highest XP will go first in every phase, be it build, lure into your dungeon, or the dungeon phase. So how you'll build is you'll pick which card you want to build. It has to be just a normal room. You can't build an advanced room onto nothing. You must build advanced rooms onto a room, but I'll get to that in a minute. So you pick your room. So say I picked this one. You'd lay that face down next to your boss. Your opponent will do the same with one of their cards. You might want to play that one. And then once everyone has a room face down, we will simultaneously flip our room open, check to see whether the room has any abilities once it's built, which this one doesn't. It says once per turn, if a hero dies in this room, choose one room card from the discard pile and put it into your hand. Okay. And then after the build phase, everyone has built their first room of their dungeon. You're going to see if any of the heroes want to come to your dungeon. And the way you see this is each hero will have one of these. There are 4 different types, as you can see by this card here. So there is a money bag, a book, a sword, and a holy symbol. And to see whether they will come to your dungeon, whoever has the most types of, for in this case, the fighter's sword, it will go to their dungeon. So as you can see, my dungeon has no swords. However, my opponent's dungeon has 1 because of the hatchling ring. So the fighter will come to the end of the dungeon, and then the next one is another fighter with a sword, so it will come to the end of their dungeon again, and it will go through room by room to give me a chance in case I want to play any spells. So it will go into the first room. No damage will be done to it, as the hatchling room has a 0 on the heart, and the heart is is how much damage each room does to the fighters. So this one made it through all the way to the boss, which means it sits next to it, face up like so, and they have 1 wound, which is shown there. Then the next one will go through, and again makes it through. So again, now they have 2 wounds. And then the next 2 heroes will come into town. Each player, in terms of XP, will pick up another room card, and play will continue. So, building rooms on top of rooms. If I wanted to lay this advanced room, I would have to look at what symbol it had, and if I have a normal room with the same symbol like so, I could play it upside down on top, and then once everyone's built their rooms, have all the cards upside down, I'd flip it over and it would now be on top of the room. And again, check its ability, because some cards have abilities when they get built. Or if I just wanted to play a normal room on top of this room, I wouldn't have to bother with the symbol. Any rooms can be built on top of any other existing rooms. It's only advanced cards that you have to be careful of their side. So, play will carry on like this. You'll try and defeat heroes coming to your dungeon, and try to avoid heroes coming to your dungeon until your dungeon has 5 rooms in it. As soon as your dungeon has 5 rooms in it, your boss levels up, and each boss has a different level up ability which shows here. So some of them continue throughout the rest of the game, whereas some of them happen once and then finish. So my Draculord, target opponent reveals his or her hand to you, take one card and put it in your hand. So as soon as I built my fifth room in my dungeon, I'd be able to use that ability, and then that ability would be done. And then I cannot build more than 5 rooms in my dungeon, so I then have to play cards on top, build advanced rooms on top of rooms, etc. And play continues like this until either one person gets 5 wounds. So as you can see, these ones, normal heroes are worth 1 wound each. However, some of the epic heroes are worth 2 wounds each. So if you get to 5 wounds, you lose. Or if, say, this hero was going through my dungeon and it has a health of 8, so it would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so it would die, meaning I would turn it upside down and place it to this side of my boss. And this symbol here counts as souls. And if you get a soul, it is first to 10 souls wins. And as you can see, normal heroes are worth 1 soul, whereas epic heroes are worth 2 souls. So first 10 souls wins, or first 5 wounds loses. And that is how you play boss monsters. There are different cards that will allow you to pick up from the spell deck. Those are a lot harder to get, but you'll be picking up from the rune deck throughout. Each of the runes and cards have their own special abilities. Some of the heroes also have abilities depending on which game you are playing. But that is it. I hope this video was useful. If it was, make sure you do hit that like button, and if you want more videos about board games and anything related, please make sure you subscribe. It would mean a lot. And until next time, share the love of board games.